Airsoft GI would like to thank our sponsors.
Somebody should thank Action. And be sure to talk loud. Or thank you, director.
That would be awkward.
Action, cut, thank you, director. Okay, Bob, I've got a bone to pick with you.
I've got to pick the bone with you.
You like to make fun of me for Lion Claws 9 when we were talking about getting rolled by armor.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I love making fun of you for that because I got it on camera.
Because here's the thing. It is never a good time to come face to face with armor if you've just got a regular gun. And so from a purely practical standpoint...
Disagree.
What do you disagree for? You're going to get owned.
Well, no. Remember
You're
when...
going to get owned.
No. Remember when we had those KWA fellas and we was like an anti-armor team and they had rocket launchers?
I didn't have a rocket launcher.
No, you didn't. And neither did I. And
so why would I want to come face to face with armor?
What I did is I stepped out, shot some rounds at the tank like an idiot would do, so they would traverse and look at me. And I get behind cover, rocket guy comes out, puts one rocket down range.
Is that what happened?
That is essentially what happened. What was sad about it is that I can't remember. I think it's Spiggy. He like jumps out. He's like, "Yeah!" And it like literally goes, and like in between him and the tank sees it, and they're like, "Oh shit, that's a rocket launcher!" And they literally just back out of there.
Oh.
So they pieced out, and he got one more.
I didn't have a rocket launcher, and your question was, when do you get rolled by armor ever?
Ever.
And I said, never. I want to keep it that way.
And you Sicily did so.
Well, getting rolled by armor kind of implies that you get rick-rolled by armor.
That I didn't put Rick in there. You did.
I did, but I don't ever want to get rolled by armor.
I'm glad he's.
Spiggy was actually just informing me at that time that there is a Lion Claws rule. That's like an unofficial rule. So basically, the first 35 minutes of Lion Claws, nothing really happens because both teams are just kind of getting into place. And so it's like 35 minutes into the game is when shit goes down. And we were within that 35 minutes, and he was explaining, like, yeah, you know, I'm not really worried about getting shot right now. It's the Lion Claws first 35 rule.
Did you fart?
Right now?
Yeah. Oh, it smells bad. Maybe it's just you.
It was just real quick.
Oh, damn! You can go to hell. I actually want to talk to you about Fort Knox, because that's the first, like, you know, event I've flown across the country with you for.
I think that was the first time I played Airsoft outside of California, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I've traveled so far to play Airsoft prior to that. That was 2010.
Yeah, I gotta say, that's the first time I played Airsoft out of state, too.
Yeah.
And
it was pretty sweet.
It was legit. But when do you ever get the chance to Airsoft on a Special Forces training course?
Probably never.
I remember Brandon, who was a combat engineer in the Army. I remember when he was on the course, he's like, "Damn, I never got the chance to like train here. This is awesome." Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's mostly like, was it Navy SEALs, Marine Special Operations?
I don't know the details,
Green
but
Berets.
I was watching the National Geographic channel. They were doing some sort of military training thing, and it was Zussman. It was that training center. I saw it on National Geographic, so I was like, "Oh, cool." But if I could do it over again, and I'm hoping I get a chance to go back to Irene, I don't think that I would use an SPR because I went there. Our friend Gene let me borrow his SPR, which was a 20-inch barrel, 12-inch free float handguard. And the gun performed really well, but that field is a really good mixture of wide open shooting, and then once you get in the building, it's really close quarters.
Yeah.
Good thing that our guys already secured this building, because if we had to go clear this, and I was doing this with a full stock gun, it would have been much more difficult.
Yeah, I remember having my SCAR there at the time was really useful, because, I mean, if I had an issue, I could fold the stock, but at the time, that gun wouldn't fire with the folded stock. But, yeah, getting up and down the buildings was not too bad. I was hamming it up for the cameras at a couple points, but we had some really fun battles, and you shot Max Mullen in the ear. One thing that I'll always remember and never forget, and possibly never forgive you for, is when I got shot in the nuts, and then you decided that was a good time to interview me.
How often does that happen, though?
When do you ever get rolled by armor, Tim?
And you interviewed me, and so I interviewed you when you got shot in the nuts.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's correct.
So it balances.
I don't know.
Airsoft GI would like to thank our sponsors.